G'day guys, welcome back. It's birthday pour day today. So here we go. I am doing some of my favorite colors. You guys know I really love the Caribbean sunset colors and pours. Here's a smaller one that I did about a week ago. Pretty much dry now and maybe just a little bit damp in the middle still, so I won't run my hand over it, but dried beautifully. This one's sold. Will be heading off to its new home in about a week or so. So that's it there. So same colors. I have actually added in some more navy because you can't see very much of the navy. There's a little bit there, there's a few bits there, but really there's not a lot. So, well, there's a bit more there. I've added in a little bit of extra navy into the pour today. So as I said, it's my birthday today. Yay me, happy birthday to me. So I get to spend the day at home in my studio painting, and I'm going out with the family for dinner tonight. So that's what's happening tonight. But for the rest of the day, yeah, I just get to paint. And I made my birthday cake yesterday. I know, it sounds funny, but I make my own cake. Nobody else in the family bakes. I'm the baker. So I kind of have to do it because I do prefer, you know, a homemade cake to a bought one. So there you go. Right. This canvas is a 40 by 80 centimetre. I think that's a 16 by 32 inch, so pretty big one. I do these little cards. Feel free to take a little snapshot of it. I give these out to all my students when they come to workshops. It tells you the pouring medium ratios, the amount of paint you need, the size of the canvas, how many colours, what the ratio is, how much silicone, blah-de-blah-de-blah, and everyone gets one of those. So this is the size we use for the intermediate workshop, so I'm just going to go buy my little card here and do the same thing. So I have got 7 cups of paint, mixed paint. They've each got 50-50 pouring medium to paint. My pouring medium is 70% glue, 30% water. And I have thinned them all. Because I made them yesterday, I had to add a little bit of extra water this morning. And when I add water to my paints, I use this Liquitex Flow Aid. And I just put it in here. So this has got 10 parts water to 1 part Flow Aid, and I just mix it all up, and then I use that as my thinning agent when my paints need to be thinned. And for cells today, treadmill silicone, and these are big cups. They've got 90 grams of pouring medium and 90 grams of paint, so that's 3 ounces of pouring medium and 3 ounces of paint. So I'm going to do 5. 1, 2, oops, there's a hair. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I won't do any in the white. Got 2 cups of white today. There's another hair, poodle hair. When my poodles come and sit with me on the couch, sometimes I give them a bit of a brush and a clip. So I quite often got hair on my painting clothes. Oh dear. Right, give that a really good stir in. I will come and show you the consistency in a minute. And I've been doing the 3-second rule lately. You know, where I leave a ribbon on the surface of the cup of the paint and it should dissipate in 3 seconds. So I found that's been working well. If my mix is too thick, it'll sit there for 4 seconds, and then I know I have to add some water. I'll show you on this turquoise because it's a little bit lighter, probably easier for you to see. Now, I know I've shown you a few times, but if you've missed my videos, I'll show you again. So pick up a paint, go around like that, and then you count how long the ribbon sits there. 1, 2, 3. So it's gone. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So if your paint is disappearing in 1 to 2 seconds, it's too thin. for this particular technique. If you're doing other techniques, then obviously you need different consistencies. For the flip cups, that's what I like. Righto, let's get layering. Yeah, if you don't want to watch me layer paint, feel free to fast forward. I won't know. I hope this works. I've been planning this for a while, this big one. And I had a few flops over the weekend. A few scraped canvases, so hoping today, being my birthday, I do a good pour. Hope I haven't used too much paint. I want to go for 2 layers, so I need to use half of my paint in the first layer and then half in the second layer, as I always do. When I'm using 5 flip cups like this, I don't have enough paint to do 3 layers. I just don't. So 2 layers is going to have to be enough. If I'm just doing one big flip cup, you know, just in the middle of a smaller canvas, sometimes I do 4 or 5 layers. But with this many cups, it's too hard to make the paint spread that far. So going to Hog's Breath tonight, it's not a very, you know, fine dining restaurant by all means, but it's somewhere that I like to go and somewhere where the family can meet up. You know, you don't always want to go to a fine dining restaurant. I think if it was just myself and my husband, it would be a different matter. We'd go somewhere like that, but because the kids are coming and my parents are coming and, you know, the partners and things, you sort of want it to be more family friendly and a little bit more cost effective. So yeah, Hog's Breath, I love their steaks and their curly fries. Do you guys have Hog's Breath outside of Australia? I don't know, it's just, it's like a steakhouse, you know, curly fries. I always get the steak with the avocado on top. It's my favourite. I always end up having more paint in this first one, so I'm going to have to add a little bit more to this end one. It always misses out. Now, did you guys see my last Caribbean sunset, the one that I showed you just before the dry product? If you did, you'll have noticed that when I flipped my cups, I got different effects by flipping them different ways. So this time I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to flip 3 one way and 2 the other way. Hopefully my navy is going to come through because I've got more navy. The navy is a transparent colour, so I do tend to lose it. It kind of sinks. That's why I thought I'll add 2 cups of navy. And I actually cut down on 1 cup of white because I had to replace the white with the navy. So hopefully that was a good decision. I mean, I really loved the colours of the other one, but I just lost all the navy. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And I didn't see a lot of the white in the other pour either. The white kind of just blends with the other colours and, you know, tones them down a little bit. I don't get a lot of white showing up in my pours for some reason. I think it's mainly because the white's just not very highly pigmented paint in this brand of paint. So all up, I've got about 1,260 grams of mixed paint, roughly. If I measured everything correctly. I did have to add a little bit more paint, a little bit more water to some of them. The red oxide paint was really quite thin and I had to add more paint to the red oxide. This one here. And you'll have noticed that I had my sort of blues up this way and then the white and then the yellow because I didn't want the blue next to the yellow. Because I don't want too much green. A little bit of green's okay, but I just didn't want too much. So my mixing cups with the paint in them are my medium-sized cups. 350 mils, they say on the back. And then my flip cups, my 5 flip cups are the bigger ones. They hold about 550 mils, these big ones. All right, nearly there. Takes a long time to pour out 1200 grams of mixed paint. It's a lot of paint. So hopefully this works. And then I can keep it for myself. My colours for my house though are all sort of blues and turquoises and copper, grey, white. That's my colour scheme. So I tend to paint those colours for myself. But this one being really bright, I think it's got the blues in it as well. And I've got timber floors, so that the red oxide kind of will pick up the timber floors in my house. And it should go really nicely on grey wall. Grey's pretty calm, neutral sort of a colour. You can put anything with it really, can't you? It's a good colour to paint your walls, I think. And because I live in Queensland, it's a really hot climate, so it's a nice cool colour. Okay, that is it, all my colours out. I'll flip these babies over and then I'll tell you what my colours are. So I'm going to flip them all here. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I'm going to do the same thing that I always do, is flip them there. And then 3, I really like the bluish tones that I got from flipping backwards, so I'm going to flip 3 here. Those ones I'll drag forward and flip that way. That's what I'm going to do. I have sprayed my cups with the silicone spray and then just given them a wipe out with a paper towel, so they should release nicely. And the colours are Naples Yellow. I made that one up myself, the Naples, because Global don't do it. Red Oxide. Peacock is my light turquoise. And then Deep Space is my beautiful dark navy. And of course, white. So 2 cups of white, 2 cups of navy, and then just 1 of each of the others. Alrighty, here we go. Wish me luck. Right, so these 2 I'm going to tip this way, and then I'm going to turn the canvas around and tip the others, because I think these 2 are going to be more red oxide on the top, which is what the others, the last painting, tended to do. See the more red oxide there? And that one's making a liar out of me. Although it's nice to see the navy. I did get the extra 2 cups, extra cup of navy, didn't I? So, oops. I don't know that this was such a good idea. I've got my big push pins underneath to keep it up off the table. Put that there. Put that there, put that there. All right, here we go. So we're getting more of the turquoise through on that one, which is a beautiful contrast to that red oxide there, isn't it? I love turquoise and oranges together. And lucky last. Put a little bit of paint on my corners. Which other cup has got some? Pretty much emptied my cups really well. There's not much left at all. I'll just pour a little bit on each corner. And when you're pouring the paint out, just let it fall out on its own like that. You know, don't drizzle it on. Just let it pour out nice and gently. Right, get rid of those cups. Now the next thing I want to do is tilt to cover some of the canvas first before I start torching, as I always do. because if you had to start torching now, your cells would grow too big as you're tilting, so you don't really want to do that. That's gone over already over there. Let's just see if we can help this, just encourage this over a little bit. Don't want to lose too much paint today. It's a big canvas. I'm going to need every last drop. So now I need the paint to go over here. I may actually get a corner catcher just to pop there, because as I tilt the canvas over to that corner, I'm going to lose a lot of paint. So I'll just pop that there and then see if I can get the paint to come down this way for me. Okay, did end up losing a bit of it, but can't be helped. You have to lose a little bit of it, and then bring the weight of the paint straight back so that you don't lose any more than you have to. That little bit there I will just touch up later, that's not a problem, when I do my sides. Okay, now is, the next thing you need to do is just bring the weight of the paint back. So all the weight of the paint's up there at the moment, so just bring it back into the middle, and then you can start torching. But I'm going to turn it around because I like to tilt away from myself. I'll just get that organised. Try and pick it up from underneath so that you don't ruin your sides, your pretty sides. Alrighty. Again, now torching nice and high. Don't get too close, hey? Minimal cells, they're going to stretch and grow, so you don't want too many. You want some background. Hopefully I'll get some pretty colours up through these beautiful blended backgrounds here. So just go over once. You can see where the paint, where the heat is hitting the paint, because you get those little white spit marks, little speckles. So go over it once. Oops, see, I got too close there. Go over once and then come back and do it again. While you're waiting for cells to pop up, you can just go over it again. No rush. You spend a lot of time and effort and money on your paints and your canvas, so you know, don't rush it. You go too fast and get too close and you'll ruin it. You'll get too many cells up, you'll get caterpillars up. Just take your time. You can always go over again and again and again. You can't take them back once they've popped up, those cells. Not getting much under the yellow there. Probably, hope I didn't make my yellow too thick. Sometimes if your paint's too thick, the cells can't come through. But the paint's very thick, you know, there's a lot on there. It takes a while for the heat to transfer down and for the oil to come back up to the surface. Being an oil, it wants to rise with water. So just let it do that. Coax it up gently. It's taken a while. Hope I haven't made it too thick. get some to come up here. There they go. Slowly, they're slowly coming through. I had a feeling my yellow was a little bit too thick. Oh no, I got too close there. A cluster happening. Keep your torch moving round and round and round. Don't let it stop and get one area too hot. You know, you'll burn your paints. You'll get a cluster coming up. I think you also get the caterpillars when you get too close. Well, that's what I found anyway. If I get too close, I get caterpillars coming up. Too close there again. Got that little colony happening. I'm trying to see if I can get something in here. There's a few coming up. Oh dear. I think this in here is a bit thick. Some of my cells are going a bit weird shaped. Either that or I'm burning it. Oh, now I'm getting too close. Okay, I need to stop. Someone take the torch away from my hands, please. Alright, I'll leave it like that. I can always torch later if I need to. I'm a little bit worried about this yellow here. It's a bit thick. Some of those cells aren't looking very round. Okay, let's do this. And I may torch again afterwards as well. So zigzag up and down as we're going to this side there, to the long side of the canvas. Just over there a little bit. Come back. Now I need to go here, so I need the weight of my paint to here, so I actually need to bring the weight of the paint back so that I can then move it there. There's no point having the weight of the paint there and expecting that to get covered. It's not going to happen. I have to get the weight of the paint here where I want it to go to. I know everything else is stretching, but that's okay. I can take it back again. It's not a problem. Now I'm going to go over that corner and then come back and go over that corner and then come back. Oh, that's looking really pretty. Oh, look at that. Oh wow, we've got some really good sized cells too. Take a little bit off there, a little bit more off the edge. Now let me just stand back and have a little look at it. See what else I need to do. Well, my navy is a lot more prominent in this one, isn't it? Which is what I wanted. I guess it's a little bit darker because of that. The last one, the yellow really stood out. This one I've got, it's more of a subdued amount of yellow. I'm just checking. I know I haven't gone over there. That's okay. I'll just touch that up. I'm not going to take the weight of the paint all the way down just to get to that one little corner there. Same there. I'll just pour a little bit of extra paint on that. Now, what do I want to do, if anything? See, when you get to this stage, you've gone over this way, you've gone over that way, you're better off just leaving it. If there's something you don't like and you think, oh, I really want to get, you know, that corner off, you might ruin everything just moving the paint off that corner. I'm going to just play with the composition just a touch because I've got a lot of paint on the surface. Now my cells, my thinking at the moment, these cells up here are quite small. These ones down here are bigger. So I'm thinking I would like to just stretch everything out that way just a touch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk them up and down, so that I'm not just taking them straight down. There's just a little bit on the edge there that I'm not quite happy with, and there it goes, and back again. And I'm going to leave it just like that. What do you think, guys? Are you happy with it? Is it a good birthday pour? I'm happy with it. Woohoo! Gorgeous. Do I want a torch? Maybe just really, really lightly, just in some of the areas, just to get a couple of little cells coming up. And pop some bubbles. I don't mind the little baby cells popping up here and there. I think they're quite a nice contrast. So I don't mind a few of them. Just don't get too close. And it also pops a few little bubbles at the same time. After you've tilted, it's nice to pop them. But I do like my background, so I won't do too much. Concentrating, try not to overdo it. Just a few little ones here and there. How's that? Got a few little ones here. Oh, my lights just went out. A few here. I've got an electrician working downstairs in the granny flat, so I guess he's turned the power off. Oh dear. That's all right. My big spotlight still stayed on, which is good. Don't know why that one stayed on when everything else has gone off. Alright guys, so what do you think? I'll just show you the previous one, and so that you've got a comparison. That's it there. So I guess this one's lighter, you know, it's got more of the orange, it's got more of the yellow. This one's definitely got more of the navy, which I was going for. But now when I look at it, I think, oh, I've kind of lost my yellow. I want the best of both worlds, don't I? But no, I'm happy with it. Love it. All right, let me take you down for a close-up. Actually, before I do that, there's quite a few little sides here that need fixing up. Oh, I can do that later, can't I? I don't have to do it now. I'm just going to put some plain colour on there. Like so. And this corner could do with a little bit of the red oxide, so it doesn't matter if it's the plain colour. As long as it's contrasting and it matches, it'll be fine. You can pick up paint off the table for sure. If it's just a tiny little corner like that, you can just cover it with something contrasting. I'm just going to make that a navy corner because I like the navy corners. And what's the last little one doing? Let's just put some turquoise there. So let me know what you think. Do you like this one, or do you prefer the one with the more yellow in it? I'm hoping I didn't overstretch it too much. I mean, I did give it a really good tilt, trying to cover my sides. I probably could have covered a little bit more of the surface before I tilted. But sometimes, you know, if you tilt too much, you thin out the paint on the surface, and then you don't get as many cells up because you've only got a very thin layer of paint left. And to get really pretty cells, you need to have a good thick layer of paint, of, you know, different multicolored layers of paint to get your really pretty cells coming up. Just doing some little touch-ups here and there. Oh, I should just do this off camera, shouldn't I? Not, I don't have to keep you guys. Oh, get away, bug! Get away, bug! Did you see that? There's a bug. Don't you dare get near my painting. As soon as I've done this and taken photos of it, I'll put it down there on the floor on another piddle pad, and I'll cover it with one of my huge food nets so that it doesn't get any bugs on it, because this one is gorgeous. It's really nice. I don't have any, there's really nothing that there's nothing I don't like on it, I must say. I guess, if anything, this curve here, you know, could have gone straight, but that's just something that would, it's only a little thing that would bug me. There's nothing on there that I don't really like. I mean, there's that big cell there that's kind of stretched. That was there from the beginning. I guess I tilted a little bit too much. Some of my cells are starting to go a little bit wobbly, but for this size canvas, I think I did pretty well. It's difficult to cover a whole canvas this size. There's a little bit of a caterpillar just in there where I torched too close. But I've got really pretty cells, multi-rings, beautiful background. And then where I torched afterwards, I've got these little baby cells that have popped up there, and they're the little baby ones. See, the cells are multicolored. Those ones have got yellow around the turquoise. And if you try and alternate your colours, try for semi-transparent, transparent, you'll get different coloured cells coming up. Now my yellow is, oh, it doesn't say on there. What's my yellow? I can't read it from over here. Usually the yellow is a semi-transparent, and it sort of pops up and makes rings around the transparent, the opaque colours, like those there. They've got yellow rings around them. We've got our reddish stripe there. So that's it. Hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks for spending my birthday with me. Love chatting to everyone. It's a really lovely community, isn't it? Painting community. It's so nice to talk to people with interests that you have, like-minded people. Yeah, it's really nice. Nice way to spend your days and evenings chatting about painting. So that's it. I'll leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed that. Have a go at these colours. I'm going to have to stand way back here to show you the whole thing. There we go. All right, I'll leave it at that. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you for the next pour. Bye for now.